Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Wounded Families One on One broadcast. I am so excited about being on tonight. Seems like it's been forever, but due to some physical ailments in my body, I was not able to come on. And I remember last Monday talking about uh, the holistic approach and the threefold nature of man. And I had some questions asked, and I wanted to try to make it plainer for some and just to give some more enlightening to others. But before we get into it, and I normally open up with food for thought, and I did not get that together. However, but we are going to remind those who are coming on that you are welcome to come and join us on every broadcast that we present through the week. We don't want to exclude anyone. Also, I want to remind the local uh, people in the community of Hagerstown that we do have certification forms that we would like for you to help us to continue to receive funding to make these broadcasts come to you. I am really, really excited about coming back on because um, I know some people are being helped through the broadcast. So I don't want to stop, but nobody's mad but the devil. And as I'm moving along, I want to say that many feel like I shouldn't go the way that I have been going for the last 2 weeks. But I think about as I talk to everyone, if we are saying that we're using an holistic approach, and we think about that we are made up of body, soul, and spirit, we must think about how we approach different things. I know last week, as I was suffering in my body, I couldn't forget about the spirit, the soul, and the spirit. So we're going to just remind you of what we discussed, what is being holistic. Holistic is an approach, means to provide support that looks at the whole person, complete person, not just their mental health needs. Whatever needs that you may have tonight, whether it be physical, whether it be uh, mentally, or whether it be spiritual, we must meet the needs of each area that you need. And you cannot deal with one and not deal with the whole you. What is being holistic? A holistic approach means to provide support that looks at the whole person, not just their mental health needs. Their support should also consider their physical, emotional, we can't forget that, emotional, social, and spiritual well being. Last week I had a chart up, and this week I've tried, I don't know how many ways to get it up, but it just will not come up. But we're not going to let that stop us because for some reason, it's not wanting to allow me to, and I know it's a spirit, it's not wanting me to share with you what we're talking about does not want me to even include scriptures, doesn't even want me to include what I know is right and how every one of us, not just you, but all of us can be made whole. How can we have our needs met? Okay, how to start living holistically. Practice mindfulness. Living in the moment and one of the most important values of a living holistically. Also, respect the amazing powers of your body. Fuel your body with clean food. Mentioning all of these help us to know that we're not just doing it for the mental health or the body, but also for the spirit as well. Because for us to be spiritual, we have to make sure that we eat well. To be mentally sound or well, we have to feed our brain wisely. Nourish positive relationships and let go of the bad. When we do that, we'll be able to be whole. It will not affect us physically, it will not affect us mentally, and it will not affect us spiritually. We have to let ourselves grow. We can't stay disconnected from different ones, especially when we know that they're inspirational to us, when they have resources. Well, oftentimes our mental health needs or our emotions does not allow us to connect because it causes us to reject, not only reject, but just cut loose. Do not even participate with anyone. And what we're practicing every time we meet on the broadcast, we being aware, being made aware of what is actually going on in us, what we are doing wrong, and what triggers the bad attitude or the emotions that we're going through, what stops us from going to the spiritual man and routinely meditate. Now, there is something I would like to interject here. I'm reminded of when we first came into the pandemic in 2020. People were panicking. People were secluding themselves. People were physically getting sick. So the whole body, something happened to it. But I have to remind you too, also, people were fearful. People were trying to change their way of life, trying to do what the government said to do. And you found more people praying, meditating, because they were fearful of what was going on. They were fearful because they lost loved ones. They were fearful because they lost their jobs. They were fearful because they had no way where to go. They were homeless. So if we can come together when we are upset, we're worried, we don't know which way the country is going, and we still have people talking about, oh, we in a war. But I come to remind you that a lot of things that are taking place, it has been foretold to us. There were going to be wars and rumors of wars. However, we are panicking. We are not paying attention that we have to get our whole body, or the whole us, the whole me, the whole you, we have to get it together. Now I want to move back here to this little chart. I had another chart up last week, and that's the chart that I couldn't bring back up, but it talked about the spirit, the soul, and the body, which we talked about body being soma, carnal mind, the carnal man. The soul and mind is the natural, and the soul and mind has imaginations. I hope this will clarify some questions that were asked and they said they just didn't understand the holistic approach. They did not understand the threefold nature of man. And I'm trying to make it as plain as possible so that we can move forward and completely deal with the whole man. We also have conscience. We have memory. Some are good and some are bad. We have reason. We have afflictions or affections, We have sense and faculties. This is dealing with the soul or the mind, or pronounced sushi. And going on to the spirit of man is dealing with hearing, touch, taste, sight, and smell. And this is the pneuma, spiritual insight, faith, hope. And when you have the spirit man operating like it should, you will have spiritual insight. You will have faith. All of us was given a measure of faith. However, as we read or as we hear the word, our faith increases. We have hope. We have reverence. We reverence God. We pray and we worship. Also, I don't know if I can bring this up a little more, but it talked about the spirit is made new for a lifetime when you are reborn. I didn't come to preach to you and tell you that you must be born again, but when we are born again, we have our spirit made new every day. And this process must be renewed daily till your death. I did not touch on this, but going back to the body is made new when Jesus came into your life. Moving along. We have some other things, and it's not coming up. Oh my. But I just want to continue to talk about the holistic approach. How can you practice holistic approaches, holistic methods of healing? Somebody may be asking a question, are you against medicine? No, I'm not. I'm for us being made whole. And there are doctors who are coming into the knowledge, as we forestated last week, and nurses as well. I'm not saying all of them are doing this, but a lot of them see the need to approach every nature in our life. We cannot, and I can repeat it over and over again, we cannot deal with the body without dealing with the spirit. Why do you say that? I'm a witness because I know that when I was hurting, I called myself calling the maker and ask him to relieve me of the pain. And I find that on whatever platform that we're on, when people are going through, they call the creator. They know who is in charge. They know who to reach out to. And we can find ourselves having hope, not only having hope, but seeing results, good results. And because we can go to him, we tend to work on the body and the spiritual man. Also, while doing that, my emotions, they changed. I found myself, as I was doing my devotions this morning, as I was reading, meditating, things started happening, and I found myself being made whole. And the medication that I was given, not given, but prescribed, because it cost me. But I found myself not taking the medication, not because I didn't believe in it, because I have a low tolerance for medication. It's not always the best solution. So I have to work on what's best for me. And when I start including the other natures, then I find myself pulling together and becoming whole. I hope that the questions that were asked to me are being understood tonight, and by my answers, and I hope that you know what to do. I can bring awareness, I can educate you, but I can't force no one to do what they don't want to do because you are grown. A lot of times we make poor choices because we have the right to make choices. For I remember the word of God says, choose ye this day whom you're going to serve. And so I can just say, choose whether you want to follow these approaches, whether you want to maintain this education, this awareness of what all this is and how it will help you balance out um, you to make you whole. It's up to each and every one of us. Now, let me see if I can get that up now. It says try a little later. I would love to deal with it, but if it's not going to allow me, I just have to accept that. But I don't want to. But it is a battle of getting this out the way I want to because I've been targeted in many ways to not get this over to God's people. And I think that God heard my prayers. I think it's coming up. Yes. Can't see it well, but it did come up. It's not allowing me to see what I wanted to, but it did come up. It's not focusing the way that I want to have it focus. But I thank God for knowing that we have solutions to remain the same. We don't have to accept the way that we are feeling, how we're feeling. Um, I think that I am going to touch on one more thing before I cut off. And I knew it wasn't going to be long, but I didn't think it was going to be this short because I thought that everything was going to work. But I got to be just as persistent as the devil is. And he's on his job trying to hinder me from delivering this broadcast. But I shall continue to be persistent as well as to reach out and see what I can do in order to bring more clarity. Here's some food for thought. Let me go to my book that I get some nuggets from. Um, there is something about happy thoughts, happy words, happy life. The more we speak about something, the more we will have of it. For example, if you talk about the people and things you don't like, you would dislike them even more. But talking about the people and things you love will increase the ability to love in your life. Very few people learn this blessed lesson. Love the life you have and never compare yourself or what you have to anyone else, and you will flourish and be vital and fresh, rich in trust and love and contentment. Learn to love everything except evil. If you dislike something, change it if you can. But if you cannot, then trust God and stay happy. That's what the Spirit wants to not want us to be uh, happy, well, have hope, the different things that I just talked about. I would like, if you don't like your job, you can look for a different one. If you don't like your neighbor, you can move. If you don't like the weather, realize you can't change it and change your attitude toward it. The more you are filled with loving thoughts and the more you speak loving words, the happier you will be. You will not remain the same. Now, where is that? I think that there was something else in this. It went somewhere, huh? Let me see if I can bring it up somewhere. Well, holistic health, the term holistic was used many times in literature with a variety of different meanings. And holism also had its origin in the Greek word holis, which means whole. Holism is not about any cult or religion like some people think. Many people are saying, oh, she must be bringing on religion, but it's not a religion. Rather, it is an approach that looks as things in a total perspective. As far as we know, it was first used in 1926 by Jan Smuts in his book, Holism and Evolution. The super specialism of scientific disciplines has created a silos mentality leading to a myopic or a lack of insight, understanding of knowledge, and compromising our ability to deal with the most obstinate, stubborn problems. Although he used evolution as an example to explain his concept of holism, his book actually became a trigger for systems thinking and complex, interdisciplinary, and integrative approaches in science. Holistic health typically considers the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. This approach is healing, or to healing, I should say, goes beyond just eliminating symptoms. Oftentimes, the holistic health is considered holistic medicine, involving traditional and uh, complementary medicines. Some feel that this is not correct. Holistic health is an approach which modern medicine also needs to adopt. Our idea of integrative approaches for health is, in a way, holistic, where modern medicine, yoga, and other things are used or considered as a whole. I was thinking about other ways, the natural way. We were told that God provided the leaves for us to be healed. And we don't oftentimes take advantage of it. Although I think that since the pandemic, we're finding more people are buying such plants, food-based plants, such as turmeric. Uh, there's other ones that my mind just went blank, but we know that there's a lot of food-based plants that people are taking, and some have found it to be very good. I was talking to a mother last week, and she was saying that, how that marijuana wasn't put on this earth to be abused the way it was or the way it is, but it was a plant as well. The leaves was provided for the healing of the nation. If we take all these things into consideration, we would be made whole. So even we go back to what we first stated, we deal with the body, the soul, and the spirit. There is hope. There is not only just hope, but we're going to receive the results of being made whole. I don't know about some of you, but I know there's many that want to be made whole. Let's do it. Let's use the holistic way. Let's not just deal with our mental health or our physical pains, but deal with the spiritual man as well. And as long as we do that, we can't go wrong, because he's going to remind us of all the things that we need to do as we daily approach him spiritually. We will find out what we need to do for the mental or emotional, the body. So I don't know, I don't see if there's anybody in the online. It's not showing me of anybody, but somebody may have questions tonight. I don't know, but I hope that you have gotten something out of it. And once again, if you do have questions, feel free to contact me, and I will try my best to make it as clear as possible And I pray that it won't be as long the next time. I know it will not be because God's got me. Well, I thought I had a comment here, but they went off. So we normally go off at 8:45, but being that some of my material will not come up, and it seemed like I was all over the place, but I wanted to make sure that I gave you more information, I brought you more awareness and more education to understand the holistic approach and to also understand more about the threefold nature of man. I think that that's probably all that I have to give you unless I can get the other information up and running the next broadcast. Uh, Computers or something, technology or something, software is something. But we know that anything man made is going to give us a challenge. So I hope everyone is encouraged or got something out of it. And until we meet on next Monday at 8 o'clock, and for those who want to, um, I normally don't come on Tuesday nights, but I did come tonight because I missed last night. So I did Wounded Families tonight. And tomorrow I will be on with anger management. So if you want to come on and learn, and not only learn, but if you have anger issues, you can find out what you need to know about avoiding anger and what triggers your anger. And there's some other things to learn about anger management. And then on Thursday, we will be back for Parson's Acts, which is alcohol chemical training series. And that's at 7:30, as well as tomorrow night being 7:30. And we thank God that Dr. Key has made it back to the States. He had gone for a mission. He is back, and we will be having our grief series on Friday evening at 8 o'clock. And that is going to be on Zoom. And I will try my best to get it to come to Facebook for those who don't use Zoom, and also to go to YouTube. We are trying to put these broadcasts uh, where different ones can go back and listen to the classes over as much as they need to. And I just also want to say that on Tuesday, April the 5th, we will be going face to face. For those who are in the Hagerstown area, if you want to be in a face to face class, I'm going to start having classes face to face from 1 to 2:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays will be Wounded Families, and Thursday will be Parson's Acts. Uh, both days, it will be 1 to 2:30. Any questions or comments? We are going to dismiss, and we'll see you, again soon. God be with you.